Hey Hayden.
Oh,
Hi. Let's see when everyone else comes on. Hey Muppet.
hello. Yeah,
How are you?
not too bad. How you going?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, pretty good.
Sorry, hang on. Just yeah, Phil's just messaging. Yeah. So I don't know if Blake. He's on the call, so if he shows up, if he has some time, hopefully he'll do that. But um, oh, can you try that again? Okay, let me call right back. I'll call you guys back.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no worries.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Phil.
Sorry about that. My phone wouldn't pick up.
Oh, no worries. That's fine. Yeah, sometimes it's I don't know if maybe is it only three people? Oh, there's Muppet. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hi.
Uh, oh, and Blake's on. Oh, hi, Blake.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Okay, so
Hi,
you guys
Blake.
can all be on. I'm gonna not say much because obviously I know Hayden and Blake really want to chat with you the most, Phil. Obviously they've been quite vocal on X, and so I kind of said to them, it's worth chatting with Phil, you know, and just making sure that before obviously you've got a congressional run on your hands and stuff. So I don't want like things out there that maybe like that you could answer in private, and maybe it will answer some questions. But anyway, I'll leave it to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, what I find is there's some people who want the truth, and there's some people who want to twist anything, and I have no I have no trust in anybody, and that's fine. As far as the truth goes, that's all I'm interested in. So people can make their own decisions, and I God bless them for doing it.
Yeah, and I believe that on this call, Muppet, Hayden, and Blake do all just want to find the truth as well. So that's why it's not just like about clicks and just like all that kind of stuff. Where kind of it's more just about like I guess scrutinizing things and getting to the truth.
Yeah,
And I
well,
know
you know this group better than I do, P. I'm very new to
to
I'm
the
very new
whole
to the laissez faire
the world.
group thing. So
All right, and also I know that Blake, has said that if and Hayden too and Muppet have said like all we want to do is like they want to support you like 100%, and if that's like that you could be a hero. I think they just want to some clarity on some things, and then yeah. Anyway,
whatever.
yeah. Okay. I'll put it on mute then. Blake or Hayden, I don't know who wants to. Oh, Hayden.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm happy to go. Phil, thank you for doing this. Yeah. When I first heard you, it was on one of Piers' spaces, and I'll be totally honest with you. I thought, oh, this is fantastic. We've actually got somebody in local government who is actually going to look into the assassination. And then it sadly became apparent that that wasn't something that you appeared to be actively pursuing. What made you think I was in local government? Being a former legislator, being a candidate for governor, having run a campaign for the last 4 years for transparency. I mean, but yeah, I wasn't in government. Yeah. I'm not a government official. Okay. I'm out there bashing on every investigation. I'm bashing on Cox right and left, taking on the whole establishment. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, okay. I misspoke, and I don't know your personal history. As you know, I'm in the UK, so I'm just one of many investigators. But when you say somebody in government, it's like I don't know what that means. If you mean somebody in government, because I'm in the public eye for sure in a big way. Yeah, Phil. Let me just say, I'm trying to get onto your side with this, and unfortunately, there are a number of interviews that you've given which contradict your own video. And I think it's unfortunate, and I can understand how something like that might have happened. Well, go ahead and ask, because I don't think there's anything contradictory.
Well, if you, I'm not sure when you last looked at your own video, but that's the measure by which I'm trying to assess what actually happened on the day. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a possibility you got carried away with the whole excitement around the event, and there is a possibility you might have unfortunately embellished what you did witness or hear, and that is where the confusion has come amongst the community. And so my concern is that this could, if this took root, it could go against you in not just this run, but I believe you're also, I would hope that you're also going to go up against Mr. Cox in the next.
He's not running in 28. So.
Right. Okay. It does appear that he's got quite a lot of cronies in various parts of government who have undermined the legislative, the voting system and so on and so forth. I don't know a massive amount about it. Piers tried to fill me in on it. It does look like the last gubernatorial race was stolen from you. And I can understand that there would be animosity between you and Cox particularly.
Well, the animosity preceded all of that. The animosity happened in 2009 when my community was raided, and I took a stand then. I went to jail. I was prosecuted by the federal government. I stood up. I spent $400,000 on legal fees defending and fighting this fight. When somebody like Blake gets on and tells Case Anderson, "Where's the outrage?" He's talking to somebody who's been literally canceled and kicked out of society for her outrage. But yeah, I know you don't know that. So that's you don't. And I'm not looking for people on my side. If you think I'm trying to win popularity or get people to be on my side, I'm not. But I'm glad to answer questions.
Yeah. What I'm suggesting is that there could be people out there that are hesitant to support you.
People who want the truth will find it. People who want the truth will find it.
And this is what some of us are trying to do.
We'll see.
I guess my first question is, and answer it however you want, is what do you believe, now you've had the benefit of hindsight, what do you believe actually happened on the day?
I don't know. I said the day, as soon as they released the photo of supposedly Tyler Robinson in Sterling, I said, that's not the same person walking down the street. I don't believe that Tyler Robinson was on the roof, and I don't believe that gun was on the roof. And I said that, and I was ridiculed for saying that on Alex Jones. I thought it was odd when I walked out and the two girls were unaffected by what they said happened right there. I was trying to find out where did that come from. I said, was that not right here? Was that? And they said, yeah, right over there. And they pointed to the Losi building, and I said, to me, I thought it might have been on top of the store. I had no idea. But people saying that I'm planning a story about a loud bang, it's like, there was a loud bang.
No. So let's just go back. So all we've got to go by, other than your the interviews that you gave to media shortly after the time, is a number of different clips, and I've shared some of them within this space, so feel free to have a look at them. But now that we're talking, correct me if I'm wrong, but just going by your video, okay, and partly part of your account that you've given, is that you were trying to find this lady down in the courtyard to meet up. Is that correct?
I had people that were coming, and she was one of them.
There was a particular person who you had either a phone call or a text with, who you were trying to locate immediately before.
Because we were there to meet with Charlie Kirk, and my understanding was that we were meeting after the event. And so when someone wrestled, grabbed me and said, "Hey, come on down," I was like, and I think Blake said something. I had the best seat in the house. I was like, I'm not a student. I'm not a groupie. I'm not one of Charlie's people. I didn't feel comfortable there, and not that you. I think I said this is the reason I left. And it's because of the dirty looks I was getting from a couple of the security people. Like, I don't want to be here. I'm not a Charlie groupie. I'm here to have a meeting about Utah's elections. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
But it wasn't. Well, no. I mean, it wasn't just students that were there. There was a lot of people from the local community, weren't there? Because there were people who were telling you after the event on their way out when they saw you. You know, you've got my vote. So you certainly had a lot of support there.
Oh yeah, no, I got tons of support, and it's all anti-corruption and anti-Cox. That's why people wear.
And this is why I'm concerned. Yeah, and this is why I'm concerned, Phil, because there are certain elements of the of particularly of the interviews that you gave immediately.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear what you got.
Right. Well, so I just want to just go back to your video. So my understanding is you were there to meet some people that might assist you with your campaign. Is that right?
I was there to talk to Charlie Kirk about the corruption in Utah. Because no other Utah media would pick it up.
Yeah, okay.
And there's a woman named Sophie. I believe she's the woman on X, right, Phil, that you were... Mm-hmm. And she's very, very switched on to Utah politics. So she's the one, I guess, that Phil was meant to be meeting to go then talk to Charlie together.
Yeah, so this is my understanding, Phil, is that you were trying to locate this person, and it became apparent that you couldn't see her in the three faces below you. So you were on the balcony of the Sorensen looking down, couldn't locate her, but she said that she was down there, and that you then decided to get down there, you needed to find the staircase, which did you know in advance or you believed would be in the Sorensen building?
I knew there wasn't a stairway outside that went down to it. So it was either going to go back through the Browning building or through the Sorensen building.
Yeah.
And
so
I knew there were stairways inside. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you actually get up there in the first place?
I walked through the Browning building. Same way that I got. Yeah.
Okay, but you were thinking there must be a staircase from inside the Sorensen to take you down to the courtyard, correct?
Yeah, because it's next to the fountain. The Browning building's across the courtyard on the other side.
Yeah. Okay. So my understanding is that your intention at that time was to go down the stairs to meet this person in the courtyard. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've gone through one set of double doors, and I imagine one set of double doors, and there's presumably there either plate glass or double glazed or triple glazed doors. You've gone through those doors into like a little foyer area, and then there's another set of doors.
No, correct? No, there are two doors that you go through. It's a breezeway, standard commercial building breezeway with. Well, I guess if you want to say 4 doors, but there's you go through one door, then you go through another door, then you're inside the building.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you've gone through one door into like a little foyer area, and then there's another door that allows you into the main concourse, if you like, the main building.
Yeah, like 8 feet apart.
Yeah. Now, your initial narrative was that you were literally just going through that second door when you heard this sound, and at the time, you related it to something like a plate smashing,
like a large plate glass. I think I said, like an explosion, like something was loud.
And you turned to the lady behind you who was coming in the building as well, and said, "Well, something like, what was that? Did you hear that?"
No, I didn't say anything to her.
So this is, again, this is in some of your interviews.
No, it's not. No, I didn't say that I turned and said something to that woman. I went out and asked the women who were outside, did you hear that? Was that right here? I mean, you can go back and look. You'll see that I'm not... I didn't say that. As you see, I don't have the inconvenience of having to remember what I said, because I only said what happened. I didn't speak to that girl. So I didn't say that I spoke to that girl.
So in at least one interview, which we've got, there is evidence of you saying, it was as I was going through the second door that I heard this noise.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I turned to the lady behind me and said, "Did you hear that?" And you then took another couple of steps inside the building. Okay? Now, we know that you were heading or trying to find a staircase. Can you remember where that staircase was when you went through those second doors?
It's quite a ways inside the building.
So is it, would I be
50 feet,
right? Yeah, just bear in mind I'm trying to help you here, okay?
I don't need your help. Just bear in mind I'm not looking for help. If you want the truth, I'll tell you everything you want to hear. So.
Right, so my suggestion is that your intention was to go downstairs to meet this woman, and that you went further than 2 steps into that building looking for or heading towards the staircase. Is that right?
Yeah, I said 2 or 3 seconds. Kept walking.
Yeah. So, would it be fair to say then, if you heard this noise and then continued walking into the building, your first impression was not that this is the start of a mass shooting that was a 30.6 above?
It takes a few seconds to figure out. You're looking to see it. Yeah, you're looking to see it. Is there something? Is there a commotion? Did something happen that caused a loud bang? And
I understand.
You're trying to process it, and then as it dawns on you, you say, "I think that was a shooting." And then you start to see the movement outside the window, and that's when I turned and ran out the door.
Yeah. Okay. So
you can say I ambled out the door, but I was moving fast. Now my video shows that I was trying to get out of the building. There was somebody in front of me, and I was moving out. But whatever. Yes. You start walking at a good clip and count 3 seconds and see how far you go. It'll be 20, 30 feet. You can move a long ways in 3 seconds. So.
Yeah, that's fine. So, and as I say, I'm not trying to catch you out. We're just trying to marry the interviews that you gave after the event with your own video. Okay, so I'm just suggesting to you that when you went in the building, your intention was to find the staircase to go downstairs.
Yes, I was headed downstairs to the fountain.
Right. So, did you actually get as far as the stairs?
No.
Okay. And was it particularly busy in that area?
No.
Okay. And if you were to go through those 2 doors that you said you went through, the stairs are to the left. Is that right?
Yeah. A ways up. I don't know how far, but yeah, probably like say 50 feet,
some distance,
100 feet maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the other end of where you were, if you like.
No, it's a very large building. It's very much on that end of the building. But yeah, I mean you're talking 400 feet down to the other end. But.
And if you were to look to as you went through the second door, if you were to look to your right, is there another set of doors that goes out onto the corner of the terrace?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Okay. Because we can see that in photos. Okay. Can you, from your position inside the building, can you see the Losi Centre roof?
No.
No. So you would have to be outside, almost on the corner of the Sorensen terrace, to be able to see the the Losi roof. Is that right?
Yeah. As I'm walking back out, there's a time when it's like, oh, if I had angled my camera up, I may have seen where that supposed perch was.
Yeah, correct. So, and this is where I think some of us are a little bit confused by the account, because you say that you heard this noise as you were going through the second set of doors, but you didn't immediately turn round and go outside to see what it was. You carried on walking inside. And then it looks like it was 20 or so seconds after the bang that you started to record on your phone.
Yeah, that's what I think you had said or Blake had said. I do not recall it at all. I did see that I took a snapshot a few seconds before I started recording because I hit the wrong button. But But yeah, so, but no,
Well, that makes it even longer.
I've looked at the timestamps. What do you mean it makes it even longer?
Well, if after you heard this shot, you accidentally took a photo prior to pressing record on the video, then that's an extra couple of seconds that we didn't.
It's an extra couple of seconds, yeah.
But
Yeah,
also
so
bear in
you've
mind,
already
Hayden,
said-
that like seconds do feel like different relative to what's going on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
We're
sometimes
not talking about here. We're not talking about what it feels like.
Right.
We've got evidence that it was at least 20 seconds.
But what does that prove? Whether it's 20 seconds or 3 seconds?
Let me just ask the questions.
Okay, sorry.
So Phil has already said that you can travel 20 feet in 2 seconds.
3 seconds.
Sorry.
I said count to 3 seconds and see how far you can go. You go 20 or 30 feet.
Right.
So, but you want to say it was 2 seconds, so now you're going to say, Phil said you can go 20 feet in 2 seconds. I'm saying, well, try 3 seconds and see how far you go. No, that's exactly what you're doing. So,
no,
but yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm saying, okay. So how far can you go in 20 seconds then?
I mean, if you're walking, you could go a long ways. You could go 20 seconds.
So one of the things, and listen, you don't have to justify yourself. I'm just asking.
No, I don't.
But also, was he saying that
was?
But was he walking at this point? I thought he was just looking around at people and trying to figure out what was going on. I didn't think there was any walking going on at this point.
I don't know unless I can ask Pia.
Oh, sorry. Okay, fine.
So, sorry, Phil. What I'm trying to do, if you don't follow what I'm trying to do, is to try and marry what actually is there in your video with what happened, or what your account was that you gave after the event. Now, my concern is that people could start undoing your narrative, and it could badly impact on your campaign run. And I think that
this is not about my campaign run, Hayden. I mean, give me a break. This is not a PR thing. I'm tired of that. If you want the truth, let's talk about. You go ahead and ask your questions.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is get to the truth about what happened.
It has nothing to do with my campaign run. In fact, my campaign run has nothing to do with my campaign run. It has to do with the corruption in Utah. So believe it if you want, but that's the case.
No. That's exactly why.
Then just keep going. Just don't say it. This could hurt your campaign. I don't care what hurts my campaign or helps my campaign. I don't care who likes me. I don't care who hates me. I've been through it.
Well, I guess Phil,
if you want the truth, just ask the question.
Well, and also Phil, I guess the thing is that obviously like it's just and I have this problem with Blake, right? Is that like I want to get behind. Like the cause of fighting the corruption is the cause that we're all fighting right now. So we want to be able to have it so that nobody can say, yeah, but Phil has no credibility because XYZ. You know what I mean? It's not really about your campaign run. Like you're egotistical and you want to be the congressman and all that. We want to get behind your cause, basically.
So a person says, I walked into the building. It took a few seconds to process. I turned around and ran out of the building, press record and ran out of the building, and someone wants to like make a big issue. It's like, oh, you said it was 3 seconds. It was actually 6 seconds. And then you said you were recording, but you actually took a snapshot. And then they say, oh, it was 20 seconds. I'm telling you what I heard and how long it took. That was my perception. That's where I was at. It could be that your timestamps are different, you know. My observation is my observation, and it's not.
I understand that. Let me just.
You're saying, well, I want to say to your credibility. It's like this is not about my credibility. Someone asks, "What did you see?" and you say, "This is what I saw." It's like, well, let me help you with that because your credibility. People might question. It's like you asked me what I saw. You asked me what I did. That's what I'm reporting. If you want to make your own interpretation, Hayden, feel free to. And if you want to say Phil Lyman's a liar because he said he was, in there for 7 seconds.
Yeah, I get that.
Just take a breath. I haven't accused you of anything. All right?
But you keep saying this is going to hurt your credibility. What do you want me to do? Change my story?
It's already hurting your credibility online with this investigation.
I don't give a crap. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
you keep saying that, and that is worrying for some of us because you appear to be the only person.
Yes, I am the only person. You're not the only person. You're not one of them. P is not one of them. Blake is not one of them. You're talking to the people who are fighting the fight, and you're fighting with them, and you're picking things apart. But
No.
Just try and ask that question. Just ask me questions. Please don't say this could hurt your credibility. Would you like to change your story?
Yeah, fair enough. I understand.
You're asking if you want to ask me my observation, what I saw, what I heard, what I did. I'm telling you exactly what I saw, what I heard, what I did. If things are off, you can say, well, maybe they were off. Maybe Phil was lost in the confusion for a minute. You can say that. That's fine. And I'm not saying that's not a possibility. I'm telling you, this is what I saw, what I heard, what I did.
And that is exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that in the confusion of the day, at the time, it's clear you gave an account which sounded credible, which was that you were there to meet somebody, you went into the building to head for the staircase, you heard what you thought was possibly plate glass smashing, yeah? You carried on walking.
It was a loud bang, and you're wondering what could that have been. You know, if I had turned around and I'd seen two construction workers with the giant plate glass that was smashed in the thing, I would have said, "Oh, wow, was he gonna drop the big piece of glass?" If I turned around and some lady's purse, her hairspray can had exploded, I'd be like, "Oh, that's what that was." You're looking around. What was that? You're looking around. Did anybody else? What is anybody else seeing? Because there's clearly a loud bang.
Yeah. So, but you carried on walking into the building.
Of course.
Yeah. And then, as I say, it was, forget the 20 seconds, but let's say it was 20 seconds afterwards, you pressed record on your phone and you turned round and we can
Hello? Shit. Crap. Oh, hi guys. I'm so sorry. My phone just
This is where that sound came
from. Yeah. So if you think that it came from the Losi building, and we know photos where the edge of the Losi building
Did I
is,
say
where
it comes from the Losi building?
You just said that now, didn't you?
I thought it came from on top of the Sorensen building where I was standing.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I thought it was on top of the Sorensen building, but I didn't know. It's like I don't know. I just went to where the sound was. It's like there was a loud sound here, so that's why I asked the person, "Was that not right here?" And they said, "Right over there." And they look back, and I'm looking across the pavilion. I'm not looking on top of the Losi building. They didn't say right up there on that spot. They said right over there. So I'm looking over there.
I think you said
that one thing that you're hearing it over ambient noise as well, and there's a lot of background noise. So getting the description of the sound off, I can understand that.
I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it was. I don't know where it came from. Sorry, Dave, I cut you off.
Sorry, yeah. So I think one of the concerns, which you may or may not be aware of, is that you initially said that you thought it sounded like plate glass smashing. We heard that in one of your interviews.
I did not say that.
You said you did because I've heard it.
Go back and listen to it. You can say
Phil,
you did. Go back and listen to it.
I have, and we've been looking at all of these videos prior to this call.
But if I say it was a loud bang, and I turned around to see what that was, I thought it could have been a large plate glass smashing.
It could have been
That
anything.
doesn't
At
say,
that
it
point,
sounded to me like a large plate glass. Oh, I heard a large plate glass smash. No, I heard a loud bang. That's what I said.
and that's like a
I
natural
said I
thing.
heard a loud bang.
If there's
And
a
it was not a
loud
22. It was louder than that.
and yeah, if
Yeah.
I hear a loud bang, like I'm not instantly going to be like gunshot. I'm going to be like, did a whole bunch of waiters drop a bunch of plates, or did a woman, like I'm gonna start thinking like the least extreme thing in the moment. I don't
I
know.
said a loud bang. Loud enough that I did not think it was a small bang. I didn't think it was a tiny pop. I thought it was a loud bang, and that's what I said. It was a loud. I didn't say I heard something that sounded like a plate glass smashing. I didn't say that. If that's what you're saying, that I'm saying.
No, you said that.
No, I did not say that. Look, Hayden, you can keep saying that. Let's just watch the video together, and you can say, see, that's where you said Phil Lyman said I thought it was a large plate glass smashing.
But even
I didn't say
even
that.
if he did say it was a plate glass, what's the big deal? Sometimes you might be like, I don't know, like a plate glass or like a. I mean, he might say stuff like that. Like, why would that be when you're doing an interview? You're
Just
not.
a description.
I understand it's descriptive. My concern, and it's not just my concern, is that your initial instincts were that it was a loud
Bang.
crash or
A
bang.
loud bang. So I said, I heard a loud
was your-
bang. Maybe a boom.
Exactly. Yeah.
There was a bang or a boom. I can't remember which word I used there.
No,
I didn't say it was a
that's
loud
fine.
crash. I didn't say it was a loud crash as a plate glass smashing. I didn't say that.
Okay, you heard.
I'm looking for an explanation.
What does it actually matter?
So the unfortunate thing is that in subsequent interviews that you gave, you asserted that it was a 30.6.
No, I did not.
Which is the,
I did not.
well, in your own words, you said that when this guy suggested it was a 22, you said it sounded more like a 30.6.
Yes, that's what I said. That's what I said. It sounded more like a 30-6 to me.
Yeah.
Because to me, it sounded more like a 30-6. That's what it sounded like to me. More like a 30-6, Hayden.
Yeah.
What do you want to turn that into?
Well, I'm not trying to turn it into anything.
You certainly are.
I'm just no.
You certainly are.
Phil, I'm not. I promise you, I'm
Okay,
not.
all right, then ask your questions. I would like to know where this is going to.
Yeah. Well, so the concern that some people have is that then appears to support the official narrative, and I just wondered whether, because in subsequent interviews, it's difficult because obviously there was a 30.6 discovered in land. Was it land that you or your family owned or nearby there?
It's around the corner from.
Around the corner.
My family's property.
Yeah, and this is why some of us think that you were possibly set up.
Sure.
This is where I'm going.
Sure. You can.
So
I possibly was.
I'm not. Yeah. So I'm not, because when you look at all of the, for the time being, let's just call them coincidences. That you were there, you heard this loud bang. Unfortunately, later referred to it as possibly sounding like a 30.6, which then supports the official narrative.
Immediately said that. Long before they found a 30-6.
That's interesting. See, and that's interesting, right? There's the interesting bit about it. In a way.
So you can say,
Australian Phil. I'd describe it, if it's not, doesn't sound like a 22, it'd be 308. That's what I would have said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said,
if it's not, it doesn't sound like a small caliber, sounds like a large caliber, I'd say 308. That's from an Australian's point of view.
Yeah. I think a Utah elk hunting person would say, yeah, it sounded like 30-6 to me. The point was, it didn't sound like a 22 to me. That's all I was saying. It doesn't sound like a 22 to me.
And there's people that have described it as a pistol. They thought they heard a pistol. Lots of people heard firecrackers. There's so many different discrepancies on what people heard, depending on where they were.
And if I'm standing inside that second door and there's a bang in the courtyard, I know as well as anybody that could be a firecracker that reverberated and sounded bigger than it was. It could be from here. It could be from there.
The protesters were talking about throwing things. So, the likelihood of the fireworks being thrown as a distraction, and I could see that as a possibility to start with. But
also,
like I said, if someone had said it sounded like a firecracker, I probably would have said, "Oh, it sounded like an M80."
But also, when you listen to the video,
dynamite.
I've heard enough videos of the Charlie Kirk assassination with the shot. Like, I could imagine people thinking that was a shot, like a 30-06, like a hunting rifle. Like, you wouldn't know really in the moment. It does sound like, I mean, for all we know, a 30-06 was shot or was shot through the speakers, right, to make it sound like a 30-06. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating, but
yeah, there's definitely a gunshot sound in the audio. Where it came from is God knows. But
right.
yeah, there was definitely a gunshot went off. So.
Yeah. So, sorry, carrying on, Phil. Yeah, some of us, not all of us, but some of us are of the belief that somebody suggested you should be there on that day, knowing what was going to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your feeling about that? Now that you know what you know.
Well, the exact quote is that you were sent there to be an ear witness. Sorry.
Here,
yeah.
Can you please let Phil answer the question?
Yeah. Sorry, I just was using the word ear witness, but anyway.
It was suggested that I go, but it was not to go, see Charlie Kirk. It was to go and talk to Charlie Kirk about serious election fraud problem in Utah that clearly the Utah media was never going to cover. And I had suggested to the person, we need somebody national, and I think I said, I wish Tucker would do something. I wish I could get on Steve Bannon with this. I wish I could, get somebody to cover this. And he said, it felt genuine brainstorming. He said, well, what about Charlie Kirk? And I said, oh, Charlie would be awesome. Yeah, he hates Spencer Cox, which is an important factor when you're trying to find corruption on a very, very corrupt person. And he said,
what was Mike Lee's position about Charlie? And
he loves Charlie and their friends, and he thought Charlie would be someone that would help to carry the message.
Was it Mike that suggested that you go there?
It was. It was either Mike or his. I was there with Mike and his right hand person, but yeah, it was.
And what's his relationship? What's his relationship with Cox?
Political. It's political.
Is he one of Cox's cronies?
It's political.
If Mike Lee, listen, nobody else can hear this call. It's just the five of us. If Cox says to Mike Lee, jump, does he jump?
No, I think it's more the other way around.
Right. Okay.
But it is political, and those things are they're complex, and there's lots of motivations, and your friends are your enemies, and your enemies are your friends, and Mike Lee is no slouch when it comes to navigation.
Phil, do you know who Mike Lee is in contact with at TPUSA besides Charlie?
I don't. I'm sure he's well connected with what's his name? Tyler? Is that Tyler Boyer?
Tyler Boyer? Yeah.
I'm sure he's well connected with Tyler. And it was Tyler, I think, that invited him to come and speak at USU the following week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it was Tyler.
Do you know if it was Tyler that suggested to Mike to get you there?
I don't think so. The meeting I had with Mike was a 2.5. It was a lunch meeting that turned into 2.5 hours, and I mean, it's not usual for Mike to call me up and say, "Hey, can you go to lunch?" It's not unheard of, but it's not usual. So after
the only reason I asked is because TPUSA invited Scott Keller personally. It didn't actually come through the university. It came directly from TPUSA.
Could be
so I was wondering whether. Sorry.
Yeah.
to be at UVU that day?
Yeah, to invite him to be there and be in that VIP area. That came directly from TPUSA, not UVU. So I was wondering whether it was the same invitation process that.
I will tell you, I walked onto the campus. I was kind of meandering around, and one of the TPUSA guys came and grabbed me and said, "This way." And I was like, "What for what? What am I?" You know, it's like, number one, why are you finding me, and what is it what assignment had you been given? And my mind was kind of like, oh, apparently I'm not the only one that knows that I'm here to talk to Charlie Kirk today.
But is it right, Phil, that I think we've seen that before the event, you were one of the few people that actually had a photo with Charlie?
Yeah.
So did that TPUSA person take you to see Charlie, or?
Yeah. That's what I was back there with all the TPUSA kids, and I wasn't a frog among princesses. You know, it's like.
So if Charlie had said, "Look, I'm expecting to see Phil later. If you see him, grab him, and I'll have a chat with him before the chat," that could be quite innocent, right?
Yeah, and it was interesting. I mean, again, this is us talking, and hopefully off the record. When I let all the kids do their thing, and then I went over to Charlie and said, "Hi, Charlie, Phil Lyman," and he said, "Phil, I know who you are." And I said, "Oh, well, good." I said, "Welcome to Utah. It's a beautiful day to be here." And he said, "Oh, it's gorgeous." And I said, "I was hoping to get a chance to talk to you." And he said, "Yeah, like that's on the." And he said, "Let's meet afterwards." I was like, "Okay, good, thank you, good luck."
And who else, sort of politically, if you like, would have known that you were hoping to meet Charlie that day?
Sophie.
The lady that you were trying to, you were trying to hook up with, and she's on the right side of things, is she?
Oh yeah. I mean, I assume.
Well, no, I mean, I know it's difficult, but if I said Kay Sanderson, you'd say, yeah, she's one of my supporters. How does Sophie compare with Kay Sanderson?
Sophie's been in the trenches with me for 5 years now.
Are they related? Because it's Sophie Anderson, isn't it? Is it her? She's on X. It's the same Sophie, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very much a vocal Phil Lyman supporter.
Well, she's an anti-corruption person before she.
Yeah.
That's why we're connected. Most of the people that I'm connected to are not because we're
Phil Lyman sycophants.
Friends through the fight,
Yeah. Can I just ask you then?
I think Natalie Clausen was aware, and she was there too, and her sisters were there, and 14 of her nieces and nephews were there, and she knew that I was gonna try to meet with Charlie, and the reason why, and she knew that I'd talked to Mike Lee, the Friday before, and she, Natalie was cognizant of what's going on, and who else in my campaign, I'm not sure, because they talk a lot with each other. And I think it's not like it was a buzz, but a little bit of a buzz of like, maybe Charlie Kirk can help us. And Charlie Kirk is a much bigger figure now than he was on September 9th, Charlie's been out.
I assure you, he was bigger than a lot of people think he was, because you've got people from the UK and Australia and Portugal and across the world who are trying to get to the bottom of this. So he was
September 10th. You have to know he's a bigger figure since September 10th.
100%. No, after September 10th, he became like a freaking
Yeah. Prior to that, it would be like I don't know.
He was like a TikToker to me beforehand.
Yeah, like if Steven Crowder's coming to town, or it's like, oh, I love Steven Crowder. I mean, Charlie Kirk is bigger than that, and yeah, for the youth. I mean, he changed my kids' lives. He really did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not diminishing Charlie. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, nobody's suggesting you are. So would Mike Lee and Cox have known that you were going to be there?
Well, so I didn't know that there was a meeting before. You know, I learned that from Pia. That they had a meeting before in Salt Lake and all this stuff, and afterwards it kind of feels like, what am I? You know, it's like, if I'm there to talk to Charlie, why come through the back door and have Riley Beasley be my escort and hang out with TPUSA kids, and they do love me. The TPUSA kids, everywhere I go, still people will stop me. Can I get my picture? You're Phil Lyman. Can I get my picture? And that was before the Charlie Kirk thing, because of my run for governor.
We saw that. Yeah, we saw that on videos when you were still on campus after the event, that people were coming up to you and shaking your hand and saying you've got my vote and all this sort of thing. So there's no question that you were popular locally. But you did suggest that you felt there would be some animosity towards you on campus. Did you? Did I mishear that?
I don't know. I assumed that there would be animosity towards Charlie, and there's always animosity towards me if there's Cox supporters around or Cox staff. You know.
So did you feel any of that on the day? Did you personally feel any of that on the day?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Anytime I walk into a public place, I walk into a public place. It's like I am there, and if somebody hates me, I'm just as there as if they love me. You know, it's like, so if that makes sense. So yeah, when I walk onto a campus like that, I have a lot more supporters than detractors. Maybe we'll put it that way. And I'm not there to be seen. I'm there to talk to people. And when I walk in, I see a bunch of people wearing Lyman shirts and waving Lyman signs. It's like, holy cow, this is nuts. It's just nuts. You know?
That's good. Can I just ask you, so in terms of the corruption that you are concerned about, we know that there's obviously been corruption relating to election fraud, which is something that you obviously wanted to talk to Charlie about. In terms of the Charlie Kirk case, do you have concerns about any kind of corruption or cover-up with that?
Oh yeah.
To what level?
Well, I am not a person who tries to, provide a solution before I know a diagnosis. And I guess to what level? There's a part of me that wonders if Charlie's dead. I guess on the extreme side of that. I sent you that, or I included that post in the thread this morning, August 19th. I said, Cash Patel is a sellout. And I had so many people like, oh, no, you can't say that about Cash. I said, well, he is. I'm not, And so when I saw and I said on CNN, they cut it, but they played a clip of, this was on Saturday or Sunday, probably Saturday, played a clip of Spencer Cox and his, bringing everybody together and blah, blah, blah. And when she got off, she said, what are your thoughts? I said, well, I don't know what he's auditioning for.
Yeah.
And they cut that part out, but I said, the Dog and Pony Show, Spencer Cox, I said a number of times, he's going to have a hard time maintaining his reputation as the world's leading forensic investigator. He doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. And I'm not unbiased when it comes to Cox.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't expect that. So, I mean, obviously we're aware of, the fact that you had the 200,000 write-in votes on a ballot without your name on it. So there's no doubt that you've got supporters there. Does that support extend to anybody in UVU police, state police, county police, or SBI? Are there individuals that you would be confident are on the right side of this?
Yes.
And what do they think is going on?
they don't talk. That's yeah, they don't talk. But it is interesting. I was at UVU with the group. I don't know, it was like a couple of weeks later, and they had way more police presence 2 weeks after the shooting than they did the day of, and there was a few cops that were sitting there at their cop car, and I can't remember who I was there with. It was some media thing. They were doing some videoing, and they were giving us the stink eye. You know, they're kind of looking, and so as I do, I walk straight over, and the guy's, you know, sitting there with his tattoos and his big arms, and he's got them folded, and I walk up, and he said, "Governor, I was hoping you'd come over," and then he's like, and he's like, "Don't let the cameras. I don't want any cameras on you and I, but I'm telling you, this stinks to high heaven." He said, "This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life." I said, "Yeah, me too." And that was it, you know. But he's got a job to do, so.
Do you feel afraid, Phil, to call it out?
No, I mean, there's a strategic way. I mean, the Candace Owen thing was interesting. It's like, oh, you can call it out. Just know that when you do, you will be mocked and canceled and made fun of by everybody. And, you know, Pia, you were on the wrong side of that initially. That's why I kind of called you out. And it's like, so you can tell the truth, but and as I've said about Candace, I'm still probably her biggest defender. So, you know, I appreciate her provocative style. You know, she's shaking the tree. Maybe something will fall out. I don't know. You know, I can tell Blake, whatever his name is, to go to hell, but it's not because I don't appreciate that he's got a genuine interest. It's just like, if someone wants to come and say Phil Lyman's lying, you know, or Phil Lyman's bebopping around there, you know, it's like, whatever, you know. I was there, and I've never been deceptive about any part of it, but
Is
sorry,
there...
I don't know the question you asked.
Don't worry. No, we're just trying to get to the bottom of, you know, I mean, we're aware because of the what we're calling the Fed slop narrative, the official narrative, that there are so many anomalies, which include things like, for example, no protection of the scene, the paving over of the scene, the mysterious way that the dogs and the county police couldn't find the firearm, but miraculously when the FBI turn up, they find the firearm. The fact that we believe Tyler was arrested or Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. on the 11th, that the Washington, Brian Davis came over from Washington County to Utah County and arrested him at 10 o'clock at night on the 11th, but mysteriously the messages that were posted in Discord with Tyler purporting to confess to his lover that it was him happened after the 6:25 Mirandizing, which is, so it's hard to believe that, you know, once he's had his phone taken off him, that he can actually then start posting confessions to his mates on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have you been aware of all of these anomalies?
I guarantee I don't track it the way a lot of people do, but yeah, I think I'm aware of it,
So
and I'm
what
aware
I've
of it. I'm
described-
aware of it from
what
a
I
Utah
described-
perspective.
Yeah. So what I described just then is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, so I think where I'm coming from is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is why I said when I started chatting to you today, I said, you know, when I first heard that you were going to be on the Spaces, this is the first Spaces that I heard with you and Pia a couple of months ago. I wasn't the only one that was excited that it looked like there was somebody with some caliber in Utah that might be able to champion, you know, going against the Fed slop narrative.
Or
And I just wondered whether you feel strongly enough about the case to to actually go down that route and start calling out some of the things that we've discovered, because
Do you feel strongly enough about it to do it?
well, we have been, but you're.
Well, I have too. Well, I have too, and that's the. Yeah, that's it. So it's like, I mean, I could say the same thing. It's like, why are you not doing something, Hayden? Why have you not told the truth about this case, and why are we still in this situation? You should have spoken up. You should have. You're not. It's like,
Yeah, so I have from the UK.
yes, and I have too.
But yeah. So what I'm asking is, you're obviously better placed than some of us because you're actually in Utah.
Which is why I am the target of people like Candace Owens and everything else, because I do have the truth and I am in a better place. That's and I've sent all the information to everybody I could. Please look at the Steed group. Please look at Jeffrey Steed. Please look at Yang Zijin. Please look at Supriya. Please look at at the Reagan caucus. Please look at these things. I'm telling you. I'm begging you. Please look at this stuff. Do they do it? No.
Oh, Phil, Phil, I've published a piece, by the way.
Are they connected with the Charlie Kirk?
Yes, they are. In fact, I published a piece, Phil, literally this morning. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's
okay. You've been amazing. Yeah,
it's got all of it on there. I'm like, I'm so convinced that they're the group behind this. But
yeah, which I sent that back in. If it wasn't by the end of September, it was at least by the 4th of November. Candace Owens had everything that I could, and I've learned a lot since then too. But
what do you think would happen, Phil, if you came out publicly and said that you felt that Tyler Robinson had been framed, or that he was a patsy?
I think I've used that exact term, that I think Tyler Robinson's a patsy, but I guess when you say come out publicly, it's like, okay, I don't know. There's, it's you post something publicly, or the criticism is like
about Anki hasn't been Tyler, and it wasn't Tyler from the roof. I've heard you say that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I said it on the Alex Jones show on the day after, or at least by Friday. I can't remember when it was on Alex Jones.
well, a lot of weird things happened with Alex Jones and Ian Carroll and Ryan Matta. When you went on those, everyone that's had experience kind of going on all those shows early on, like, has shady stuff that happened to them. Like, I know Ian Carroll, didn't you have, like, Ryan Matta, you went on the show and he was like, oh, Phil's not able to join and he's having a hard time, and then Ryan Matta...
Is he gonna I can't remember what he says. He's gonna coward out on us? Is Lyman gonna... I was like, what the...
Yeah,
I've got just for your information, I've got a defamation lawsuit going against Ryan.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
And one against Candace.
Good, really?
I don't know if they'll go anywhere, but yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And what about the Ian Carroll bit? Because didn't you say that you were supposed to meet up with Ian Carroll, and then he...
Yeah.
You said, I can't meet up with you, I can meet up with someone else, and then he kind of took that and said, oh, Phil doesn't want to meet up or something like that?
No, he was like, why is Phil Lyman inserting himself on this? It's like, Ian, I didn't even text you. You reached out to me. You asked if you could come. You asked if I could show you around. I said, I got to be back in Blaney on Sunday. Can you meet with Truman Van Cott? So I went to Truman's house and said, hey, Truman, Ian's coming. You live right here. Could you show him around on Sunday? I got to go home. Yeah. And what did that turn into? It's like, oh, Phil Lyman went to a 20-year-old's house. First of all, he's not 20-year-old, and he's not Nick, and it's like the whole thing. It's like everything that I did was turned into a this major witch hunt. And there is a witch hunt mentality, as you know, and people will hang you, and I'm not afraid of that. I just want to get to the truth. I don't care about the consequences, but I do want to get to the truth. So.
And what was the whole deal with Linda? Because she was like, oh, Phil doesn't... She was saying something about how Phil acted like you didn't know Truman or something, but I thought that wasn't the case.
Linda she's mentally ill, so... Genuinely mentally ill.
Going back to the Charlie Kirk thing, you seemed a little bit hesitant to want to go down the route of defending Tyler Robinson. If This guy, obviously a young lad, if he is convicted, he faces the death penalty. Is there any kind of campaign going to try and push back against the official narrative?
You're muted, Phil.
Oh, Phil?
Have we lost him?
Oh, we might have lost him.
He might have had someone stop.
We
Oh,
might-
I'm sorry. I must have hit that with my. I was going to say, is there official narrative to push or is there a campaign to push the official narrative? I think all the campaigns are to challenge the official narrative.
No, what I said was Tyler is obviously a young lad who faces the death penalty if he is convicted.
Right.
It's it's pretty much as serious as you can get. Is there a campaign? Is there a campaign? Any campaign that you're aware of that is pushing back against the official narrative? And what kind of support does that have? Because I understand with the is it predominantly a Mormon area? They have this policy of secrecy, and people are reluctant to talk about stuff. But there is a culture. There is a culture in Utah that I think is relevant. I've worked very, very hard to try to explain that to Candace and to Pia, and it's complex. It is when I call it a Mormon mafia, it's not derogatory. It's the complexity of the groups. But yes, there's major. I mean, that's what I said. Is there a campaign to support the narrative of Tyler Robinson having climbed up on the roof and shot him? I don't think there is a campaign for that, other than from Cash Patel and Spencer Cox. So would you say that? I mean, just say if you were to poll the 200,000 people that signed your ballot and said, what do you think what do you think happened with this? Is this something that you should be campaigning? Part of your political campaign, if you like. Do you think? Well, would you get? Do you think you would lose some of that support? No. That's why I have support. Is because I'm the one that said that the elections are stolen, and it was Cox that did it, and then I proved my point. If I could prove something about Tyler Robinson, I would.
Would you say? Would you pin Celeste? Would you say it looks like, from my opinion, with the Reagan group and stuff, it ties to Celeste, it ties to Blake, this whole group. Well, actually, it's in my article, so if you wanted to push it out subtly, it's all there.
Well, if I were to say that, I would have zero credibility, and people would say, "Oh, that's a low blow from a political opponent." It's not that I wouldn't do it. I'm not suggesting that for a minute. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying, Hayden, is that I understand that I'm a political figure, and I don't want to legitimize opinions by weighing in as Phil Lyman. So.
What about pushing for transparency?
Because I'm the one that fights the fights. That's why I have 200,000 people. They know there's one person who will take on the whole legislature. But the corruption that they're aware of, does that relate predominantly to local politics and land grabs and voting fraud and that type of thing? What I'm saying is that we believe, as an independent investigative group, that we've uncovered sufficient to at least challenge the official narrative, if not completely overturn it.
Or at least the transparency issue. At least the transparency issue.
Just finish.
Yes.
Yeah. Just let me finish a question, please. We believe, and people do have different theories about what might have happened as an alternative to the official narrative. Do I understand that you'd be reticent to go full bore against the official narrative without.
I was the first to go against the official narrative. I was the first person out of the gates to go against the official narrative. Long before you came on the scene. I was the first one to go against the official narrative. Now, that said, when people say that is absolutely...
That followed all of the TV broadcasts that you gave as an eyewitness, ear witness, the ones that we saw on various news stations and so on and so forth. Is it? When did you form? When did
Alex
you
Jones.
form the?
Alex Jones is either. When was that? I think it was Thursday. I think it was the Alex Jones thing on Thursday, the day after. I'm the one that said I don't think that was Tyler Robinson. I know that guy in the stairwell was not the same guy as this. And I said, oh, how convenient. We do AI enhancement. All of a sudden, the guy that doesn't look like Tyler Robinson looks exactly like Tyler Robinson. And I talk about the dog and pony show between Cox and Patel. Like, what the hell is going on? Who are these people?
So can I come back? Yeah. Sure. So can I come back to the? So if we can come back to your confidence in the UVU police, is there any relationship that you've got there, people there that could help?
Oh, you were talking about kind of police and SBI and stuff in general, and
let's start at the
I don't know anybody. I don't know any UVU police by like oh, I need to call so and so who's a UVU. I don't know anybody that.
And what about county? So sheriff's office, that sort of thing.
I think Mike Smith is one of the dirtiest players in the country. I think he's.
100%. So nobody. So we got nobody in UVU, nobody at county level. What about state police?
Again, I run into these guys that give you the wink and the nod of like, but will they speak, or would I, if I did ask for their name, would I go and say it on the public thing? And the answer is no.
So for example, getting hold of some of the video footage that has clearly been withheld, you wouldn't have any way of trying to get hold of that.
I doubt. I mean, I would. I'm very, very curious. But yeah, I don't have connections. I guess I'll put it that way. I might have connections that I'm not aware of, like somebody that could and would help me, but none of those people have come forward with anything other than a handshake behind the scenes of saying, don't let anybody see us shaking hands.
No. So nobody at UVU, county, state, or SBI, nobody that you could turn to, who you could trust to help with the investigation.
No, not in law enforcement.
What about on the medical side? What about people at the hospital who may have been on duty when Charlie was brought in?
There's a lot of people who are peripheral to that that have said things, but it probably takes the form more of hearsay because they are not the surgeon that was working on him, but they know the surgeon. They know they were on shift when they got the call, and lots of strange stuff there. And honestly, I've probably learned more from Piet about that whole, the Timpanogos Hospital.
So there were some people, apparently there were some staff members on duty at the time who said that they felt that Charlie had been victim of an explosion in his chest. Is that something that you'd heard? Not outside of this group. I think I heard that. Well, I mean, I've watched. I've watched all the different videos. I think Blake has talked a lot about that. I think maybe Dave has done a lot of that. So you're not. So again, no connection with police or investigatory people, and no connection. Nobody that you could approach in the medical field who would be able to throw some light on it?
Well, like I say, if I started poking around, I'm sure I would find some people close to it who would say, yeah, this is what I saw with my own two eyes. But they know the landscape as well as anybody. That, you know, they'll lose their job, or if they came out or something. Now, I will say this too. I don't give the prescription before I know the diagnosis. And people that say, you know, there's no possible way that Tyler Robinson did this, I was like, well, I don't know. So like that would take a military shot. It's like 30-6 from 140 yards. That's I can make that shot. Not after I take a gun apart and put it together, I'd hit anything but what I'm aiming at. That type of stuff. But it's like the plausibility of like, could Tyler Robinson have climbed upon that building and shot Charlie Kirk? I guess he could have. I think it's outlandish to think that that's the scenario, but I don't know. That's the problem. It's like, so there's the lanyard, then it's the cross, then it's from behind, then it's from the other side, then it's an entry wound, then it's an exit wound, then it's a chest explosion, then it's a no bullet fragment. It didn't go through his spine. I mean,
well, I guess my question is, sorry to interrupt, but
yeah.
would it be something where it's, to me, obviously, yeah, there's all these specifics and who knows what is what, but it's more like, you know, as a point of differentiation from Celeste, for you to be like, I will do what I can to try to get some more transparency in this Charlie Kirk case, or do you think that would like get you kirked?
I don't think it would do that. And if it did, I've lived a good life. I'm not worried about that.
All right.
Genuinely, I'm not worried about that.
Because I think if you came out and said, look, Celeste, when I'm in Congress, I will make it a point to try to figure out, in the best of my ability, with my whatever I'm able to do with my role, to figure out what happened that day, to get a little bit more transparency on it.
Yeah. So if a person feels like, if I could get into Congress, I would find out what happened. Announcing that on the front end would, you know, kill their chances of getting into Congress, and that needs a legitimate strategic avenue. And I'm not dealing with lack of support and voters. I got elected the last time. I promise you, I was elected.
Yeah.
What I'm dealing with is the same apparatus, the Cox apparatus at the election level.
Yeah.
And it's very, very real. There was just, I know she had JT show on your space, and I'm so sorry I wasn't on. I wish I would have been on that one. But,
yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
It was
JT
good to hear from them, Natalie Clausen and Linda.
and
all of
JT
them.
just published that book, and
Yeah,
I bought 5 of them. I was distributing them out yesterday to people, and it's like,
that's really good.
it's so phenomenal. And to me, that's where the corruption lies. Is with Spencer Cox, the Steve Group, the Reagan Caucus, the Elevate Utah, I don't know, all those, you know, the Mike Levitt. And that part is very real to me. When we talk about like a mafia, you know, there's a difference between talking about the mafia from a book you read versus the mafia from all the dealings you've had for 5 generations in Utah.
Phil, can I ask you, it's probably a little bit more of a personal question, but why, if all of these people are involved and you are such a pain in the arse to them, why was it Charlie and not you?
That's a good question. That would have been a lot more direct route if I'm the target. And I was never the one that said I was the target. It was really Gordon Webb that it kind of dawned on me, because he's like, why is he walking past his car? Why did he walk clear over here? And like, this clearly implicates Lyman. And I'm watching that saying, this clearly implicates that I'm being set up. I mean, those are great questions.
It's too obvious.
Why is he walking out of his way to walk past my car? Why is this all my family, and why is all this going on? But yeah, I don't know.
Do you believe there's just... So do you believe, because you felt that you were going to go to Charlie because you needed a national figure to try and help expose the corruption,
yeah.
Is the implication that they got rid of Charlie so that you couldn't use him for your benefit locally?
Oh no, I don't. I think it's much bigger I think it's much bigger than anything to do with me, but I don't know.
Well, it has to
I'm
do
not
with
the
you
only
in the
person.
sense that it has to do with you in the sense that you're dealing with the same apparatus that is dealing with all this other stuff in the world. You know, like
You know,
I guess.
I've gone on a legitimate quest, probably before, I think it was before the assassination, to develop an opinion about Israel, because I'm trying to figure out what is going on, and you know, because it was a hot topic, and so when all this stuff comes out, like, oh, this is Israel, still trying to figure, which is much bigger than a governor's race in Utah. Then so if it's Israel, then I think it's not a governor's race in Utah, but.
Well, John Curtis gets a lot of Miriam Adelson money. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So does Celeste.
So does Celeste. Yeah, exactly. That's so interesting. I should have put that in.
So they're doing to you what they did to Massey. Is that your concern?
I feel very much like the Massey of Utah. Yeah, it's
Right, okay.
I was in the legislature for 6 years, and yeah, I was absolutely. It's like we're going to vote against this bill just because it's coming from Phil Lyman. It's like, but it's a really, really good bill, and I wasn't picking the fights; they were picking the. It became symbolic of.
So I guess the last question to do with the investigation that I have, Phil, is there are certain things that we, not being on the ground, are struggling to get to the bottom of. So we've got suspicions about certain things, but we're not, for example, able to possibly identify certain people or certain links that those people might have. And one of the the thing that I think you made it quite clear is you don't have any connections in law enforcement that can help. You don't have any direct contacts on the medical side that can help with what happened at the hospital. The car that Charlie was taken to the hospital in has disappeared. We believe that it went to auction. Is there, if we gave you the sort of information that we've uncovered to date, do you know anybody that could help you track that down?
Do you think it was sold in Utah?
We can't connect the dots at the moment. We just know that, again, there's something very, very suspicious about what happened to a key piece of the evidence. You know that.
I mean, that paving over the scene is just I don't know how anybody can see that as legitimate. Crazy stuff, and I ran into I was at UVU. I think it was on Monday. They started that on Sunday, and I think it was the first one that posted about that. And you know, like, what the crap is going on? And I think I said, what the hell? And I was at UVU the following day. It's about 4 hours north of my town, but I'd come up again, and I ran into Governor Herbert, up in his office, and he was explaining what happened on that day, and I'm respectful and all. And finally I said, yeah, I was there. And he says, oh yeah. And he's like, and we had to pave over that. It was just gruesome. There was so much blood. I said, but it was on stage, wasn't it? And he's like, oh no, there was a lot of blood. It was just drawing too much attention. I said, but it was on the grass.
Wow.
And he said it again. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna have an argument here with Gary Herbert, but it was interesting. It was odd. It's like, number one, Gary, why are you here? And why did you come out of your office to say, Phil, you know, we know each other? And it was odd. It was like,
well, even Cub Keller said that. He said he was talking to the Reyes brothers. His dad, he made his dad write a letter to the university and got a message back from Kyle Reyes, just like, oh, it's for the safety of the students or whatever. And then he knows Sean Reyes, and he was like, hey, Sean, check out my video. And he goes, oh, is that from Charlie Kirk? And then didn't say anything after that, just changed the subject.
Was that Cub or Scott?
Cub. No, Scott wrote the letter.
I need to call Scott. I didn't know Scott was there at all. I saw him walking around in a couple of videos that I was in, like right next to me, and I thought, that is so weird that I didn't.
Yeah, Cub is like really confused.
Hi to me, so.
Yeah, because he came in, I think, late with his wife, I think, but
yeah.
But yeah, Cub was really, really passionate about the paving thing, and actually, like, forced his dad. He was like, write a letter to them and find out why they did that, you know.
See, I would assume that any of the Kellers are lockstep with Herbert.
Oh, really? I got the
they're best
sense
friends.
that
Scott and Gary are best friends.
oh, they are, because I got the sense that Cub, and I don't know, Muppet knows also. He's been chatting with Cub that Cub's a little bit like in the dark about a lot of stuff. Like I don't think he knows a lot about what his dad does with politically, and he said he would go skiing. Mitt Romney would be on their ski trips every year, but like Mitt never really like acted like he didn't know Cub every time. Like I got the sense that Cub's just a bit like in the dark, basically.
Well, I've told you, my wife calls me Inspector Clouseau because I am clueless, and it's like, it is ironic, and I feel like I truly am an honest observer of things, and I see connections I'm not afraid to talk about them, and you know, and some of the things that you brought up, Hayden, you know, it's like, yeah, I had a debate yesterday, and I always want to talk about Charlie. You know, we had our convention at UVU a couple of weeks ago. It's like we're 100 yards from where Charlie died, and there was a couple of mentions, but there was just like, you know, memorial type mentions, and I had the thought then. I thought this is a time to come out and talk about, you know, this horrendous event that's going on currently in Utah. But I didn't do it, and it wasn't out of fear. It's like, well, yeah, I would lose the delegates. I'd lose the votes. I would lose people on that. So.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, you have to know your audience, and the delegates are. Yeah, it's an odd group.
I see. Interesting.
But I could totally make it more of a platform. It's not unpopular in Utah.
Can I so Phil, just to clarify then, I think what you're saying is, if you're able to help us, you'll do what you can to help us with certain aspects. But I appreciate you're on the run up to, you know, you're going through an election. Which, am I right in thinking that you don't feel it would be beneficial to use the Charlie Kirk investigation as part of your campaign?
So my foundational principle is transparency first, and everything's about transparency. And I talk a lot about the elections, and yes, it's been, you know, really since 2020 that I've been on the election thing, and people are finally starting to accept that the elections were stolen. If I came out, you know, talking about Charlie Kirk, it would probably be along the lines of you know, Spencer Cox and the you know, the dog and pony show that he put on, and the same thing's happening now with the data center. I mean, that's just Spencer Cox.
Do it. I think you should do it.
The reality is elections don't put people in office in Utah. Spencer Cox does. And I tell people all the time, they only cheat when they have to. You know, if a person gets elected fairly, then they don't cheat. But if me running for governor, I don't think you'd find, at least anybody that's actually paying attention. I'll bet 90% of the people in Utah believe that the 2024 election was that there was cheating. I don't know that they would go as far as to say Phil won or whatever, but a high percentage would say that, yeah, Phil Lyman was robbed. And it's not sour grapes. It's like, no, they cheated on the election. He is not the governor. He did not get elected by the people, and to me that's a huge problem.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way with my election. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a victim. I'm saying you guys should be pissed off that you didn't get a contender against, you know, the machine. Like, it's about the system. It's not really about me. Be personally feeling like, you know, I'm a victim.
People have said it before in their elections, and then they move on. I'm unique because I haven't moved on. And again, people have a hard time believing that my run for governor was to expose election interference. It really was the purpose, because I've been trying since 2020 to do that, and so running in 2024 I didn't expect to have popularity. I wanted to expose it, and it turns out that it was a really popular campaign,
because a lot of people felt the same way. So anyway, it turned into a legitimate campaign, but it didn't start out as, I shouldn't say it wasn't legitimate to start out, but I knew that I didn't have a chance. And then I went and won the convention, He had the record low, 32% at convention for an incumbent governor. It's unheard of. It's just unheard of. So.
Yeah, amazing. I'll be in one second.
Mike, are you sure?
Oh, sorry, I'm not on mute. Sorry.
Are you sure that you like these?
Yeah,
Phil, sorry, I'm not sure if I got an answer or not to my question.
Can I
So
have some?
Yeah,
you
of course,
you
they're
don't
for you.
feel that using the Charlie Kirk investigation, in other words, challenging the official narrative, which obviously we believe, you don't believe that going sort of hell for leather, pushing against the official narrative would necessarily help your campaign.
Yeah, and I think I like your term "hell for leather" on that. Anything that you go hell for leather on in a campaign is seen as dogmatic or something. So you, more than anything, I try to come across as a rational, reasonable person, as the adult in the room, because it is not an adult game. Politics is really juvenile. But so yeah, it is. For better or for worse, you're trying to. Strategize, and I'm not saying that I would avoid an issue. I haven't avoided the Charlie Kirk thing at all. It's just you find out that it doesn't carry the popularity or something.
What's the position? What position has your opponent taken on it?
Oh, not a mention. There's never a word, never a mention.
If you were to bring it up, what do you think her reaction might be?
I think she would probably say, I leave those things to the FBI and the Department of Justice. I think that's what she would say.
So she wouldn't have a position on it?
No.
Okay.
She doesn't have a position on very many things, water. Oh, that's a state issue.
Yeah, I got that from the debate. Oh, Phil, one of the things I think that Blake, his thing where, I know obviously you don't want to pander to Blake, but he was saying that if he was like, does Phil have like any kind of message from that day or phone record or anything that shows, could he show me something that shows that he was going to meet this, Sophie, where he said he was going to meet her? Would you be willing to show him anything like that? I mean, I know you don't want to pander to him, but obviously he's got a lot of followers and he's very vocal, and so,
It's interesting enough, I pulled up my Verizon bill this morning, 4:30 when I was starting to message you, and because I saw your invitation and listened to the thing from Hayden, and I pulled that up, and yeah, it's got the phone call to Sophie at 4, I think, like 12, whatever, like at 12:20, and then again at 12:20. Anyway, right before, and then about 5 minutes after. So I think there's 3 calls kind of in a row to Sophie.
Amazing. Will you just take a picture of that and put that in the group?
Sure. Yeah.
I think
and the other thing it shows is that I was not making any phone calls. I was not calling people. Every call was incoming. There's a couple, people that say that I was like inserting myself and calling the media. It's like,
so you can show that the media was calling you and that you weren't calling the media.
I wasn't answering the phone.
Right. Interesting.
If I didn't know the number, I wasn't answering. It's about the only person I did answer was from Jody, and she was saying, "Hey, I don't know how they got my number, but I'm getting called from the Trib, from KSL, from CNN. I'm getting called from these guys," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not talking to anybody."
How did they know that you were there, Phil?
Well, I mean, the Adam Bartholomew, I don't know how soon his stuff, he was talking to me. And I posted that morning, I'm headed to the Charlie Kirk event, excited to see Charlie today.
And
might have
Deseret
done-
News
Plus
and
they probably-
KSL were already there.
And they would have asked around.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I did that whole JetBlue thing, they found out like in 2 seconds who was on it, and I started getting phone calls and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess I've been posting the day of that I was headed to UVU.
Did you
Jason
post
Chaffetz.
the photo that we saw of you and Charlie? Was that on your phone? Is that something you released, or
It is on my phone.
did you release that straight away? Or
I can't remember. I can't remember if I posted that. I don't
Okay.
think I did.
So
I don't think I
so
posted it.
there's valid reasons why people would be trying to track you down, thinking that you were there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
and believe me, there's valid reasons why people, think it's weird. It's like, whoa, that's weird. What's going on? Why is Phil Lyman here? Why is he there?
Deseret News knew you were there, so everybody knew you were there.
Why
The
wouldn't
whole
you be
Mormon
there though?
church-
You're like
The
Phil
whole
Lyman.
Mormon church knew you were there.
No, that's a more frightening prospect.
Guys, I have
Those are my
to.
people. It's like, yeah, that's internal. That's me. Those are my people. So
Just going back to all of the very, very strange situation that you live. I think you said you live some hours away from UVU. Is that right?
yeah, about 4 hours south.
Yeah. But obviously, you've got an aunt and a cousin who live opposite one another, and the alleged suspect walks between the two houses and across land that your family own, and all of these things. Does it now seem to you that this whole thing was a setup? They would have known, wouldn't they, that you were a landowner right by UVU, that Charlie was going to UVU, that they could easily encourage you to attend UVU on that day.
I see like the footage of the guy walking down the street now, and yeah, my initial thing is like, what a joke, what the heck, what is going on? And I don't know what's going on, but it feels, the whole day now just feels like a total shit show, for lack of a better term. But I don't know.
So can I ask you, because obviously there's been some suggestion that some of the camera footage from the houses might have been manipulated. Are you confident it hasn't been? So the footage that has been released from, for example, the doorbell cam and stuff like that is genuine footage. It shows somebody. We don't know if it's Tyler or not, but that is genuine footage taken from the cameras that your family that they had.
Yeah, I suspect.
So
it was
when you said
interesting.
this is ridiculous, this is a shit show, do you think they've just been selective? They've just picked out some poor kid with a limp and used that to their advantage? Or what's your feeling about the footage that came from your own family's cameras?
Well, I think somebody's walking down the street in front of my car, whether it was an actor or I don't know any of that, but yeah.
But you don't think that any of that footage has been tampered with? What you've seen of that footage, you believe is the original unaltered footage? Is that right?
I have seen a couple of the videos that did not have the TMZ
Stamp on them, and they are the same. So
So did you see the footage before it was released to anybody?
No, I saw it on CNN as I was getting ready to go on with Kelly McEnany or whatever. I was like, what? That's my car. That's my. And my reaction was stupid, but it was genuine. It's like, I didn't know.
And that was the footage.
I didn't know anything about it.
That was the footage from your cousin's house.
Yeah.
Because you were parked at your aunt's house, correct?
Yes.
And is your cousin asserted that the footage that was shown is in fact the correct unadulterated footage? Is it on a hard drive somewhere, or is it on a cloud somewhere?
it would have been on a card, on the SIM card, and then I guess the SIM card was accessible through the internet. His SIM card, the FBI just came and, I mean, they basically said, no one's allowed in this space. And I watched them. I watched people, going up and getting his ring cam footage, but we didn't know what was going on. And then,
so he doesn't have a righteous copy of the footage.
He's got. Well, I don't want to speak for him, and he's one that, I said afterwards. I said if I had ring cam footage, I would delete it and never speak about it after seeing what happens to people who honestly come forward and say, well, I think I've got some evidence. They just get destroyed by Candace Owens and company. And Sam is not. He's not one of those guys that.
But has Sam actually got? Has he got authentic footage?
He's got what's on his phone. Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah. I'm sure he does. But he didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. He didn't know who Charlie Kirk was, and he doesn't follow any of this.
But if we could have something to compare to what the Fed narrative, slop narrative are putting out there, we could, and he could verify, look, this is the original footage on that day, then at least we'd have something to compare to know whether it had in fact been tampered with in some way.
So I don't know how this works. So the FBI, and this is, Sam's the closest to my age of my cousins on my mother's side. So we are best friends and brothers growing up. He's just so we know each other very, very well. And he said, yeah, FBI. He talks slow, and he's like, yeah, FBI came and said they wanted to get my footage. It's like, help yourself. And then they came and said, we got this. After a couple of days, they came and gave him back his disc and said, you might want to contact TMZ with this. It'd be good to get this out. So,
but we don't know that what they gave him back was the authentic footage. So has he got the authentic footage or a copy of?
I don't know how that works. That's what I'm saying. It's like they confiscated.
Did you just say that the police told him to contact TMZ?
Yes.
Wow.
I thought that was really weird. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Wow.
Because they wanted
That's
this out.
wild.
They said it'd be good to get this out.
So that implies that
That's wild.
So what we could believe from that is he's given them footage from his camera which didn't have anybody on it at all. But when it was given back, it did have somebody on there which that fitted the narrative, and they were encouraged, and he was encouraged to broadcast it.
So you mean they just inserted it like an AI image or something?
I didn't say that, Pierre.
No, I know. No.
Okay, I'll tell you more. And I love these guys, and they do not want to be involved in any of the controversy. So I don't want that this happened and that they're lying, because they're not lying about anything. There's like it happened in their neighborhood. But his brother who lives next door to him, his was the other driveway that's shown, and they were out of the country. And so one of their sons, when they heard that TMZ was paying for footage, and I don't know what they paid, I don't think it was very much, but you got these kids that are going to college, and the parents are like, yeah, we don't have they said, we don't have a card in our camera, so I'm sure we don't have anything. It's just more for show. And when their sons was like, oh, I think, as your kids do, it's like, oh, I think we can get that because it's connected to this cloud service. And they went on and so then they got theirs, and according to the message that I understood is that they said, oh yeah, we've got him on our camera too, and so they turned that over to TMZ, and I think they got paid for it. One of these college kids, one of their sons, or whether they turned it over to TMZ and then that showed up, I don't know. But and the bottom line is, if they had the original footage, they've probably been paid. It would probably be a breach of contract if they shared it. You know what I mean? But believe me, I don't know what's original. I don't know what's on it.
You can understand how important this would be if there is some way that we could find the original footage before it got into the hands of the authorities, right?
Yeah.
The corruption that you've been trying to get against, this could be the unmaking of that.
That would change everything.
It would. It is so significant. Particularly as they've handed the footage back and said, I think you should broadcast that now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like insane.
And I don't know if that's standard, but yeah, the FBI said it'd be good if that information was out, but we're not going to put it out. You should contact TMZ.
Yeah, I think that's definitely worth further investigation, Phil, if you didn't mind speaking to them and just say, look, have you got an original copy, raw footage prior, of whatever you had prior to handing it over?
If someone climbs up on gets a ladder and pulls the card out of the camera, that is the original footage, right?
But you said that the next door neighbour, theirs was on the cloud, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they can't. I don't think they can mess around with that. They can.
Yeah. Somebody would have had to have downloaded that originally or something. I'll ask him.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Well, listen, Phil. I'm done with my questions. I don't know if anybody else has any others, but it's been great talking to you, and I hope I didn't come across as too sort of aggressive in my questioning. I know that these questions were out there. I wanted to hear from you personally. I wish you all the best with your campaign, and if you can help us in any way, I would appreciate that. And
well, I appreciate it too, and I hope, and I think Pia maybe has learned. I would much prefer a candid, angry interchange than a polite, dishonest one. And so when I say things that express my frustration, it's purely because I'm frustrated, but it's not because I want the conversation to stop. Otherwise, I hang up, but I do. Yeah. Maybe at the end of this conversation, there's a little bit of information that came out there that might be meaningful. I agree with you.
Definitely, yeah. Okay. Well, if there is any way that you can think that you could potentially help us, obviously the three areas we've discussed is the police angle, the hospital angle, the disposal of the car, and now probably the most critical bit now is the door cam footage.
Okay.
And also, if you could put the Verizon, if you could like take screenshots or whatever, or put the Verizon something. I don't want, obviously, you can redact what you want, but like just to show Blake, that you made those phone calls. I think that would go along. Like he would then, because I feel like if Blake's on your side, he's just really like bullish. But yeah, then at least it would make his kind of stuff be a bit more chill.
Yeah. I still have it pulled up right here on my computer. So
amazing.
I'll take a screenshot of those calls right at that time. Not that. Yeah.
That'd be great, and I'd love to see if you could also put the press calls coming in. Like that would be really interesting as well. But don't feel like you need to. I'm just it's just if you feel like.
Okay, I'll put some on this. I'll put some things on this thread, but I'm not going to put like my whole.
Yeah, we don't need
Verizon
to see.
bill on there. Just.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah, nothing like that. Just that one bit. Those you can even like take everything else out or whatever. Just.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and I can't tell who the press is other than it's like from New York or something.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Thank you so much, Phil. Like as always, you're so forthcoming, and I just.
When I was listening, especially when I heard Kay Sanders and Casey Gill on, I was like, dang it, I should have been on that.
I know. Well, if you want to come on, I do it every Sunday. So if you want to come on this Sunday, I might have Paul Gooch on.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
Paul's.
I love Paul. He's
You know
awesome.
everybody. You know all the good guys.
I
in
know.
Utah.
I'm like
Paul's-
so
Paul is,
connected
yeah.
in Utah now. Paul, I had like, it was almost like I was like transported talking to Paul, because he walked me down all this stuff about the caucus system, and like I felt like I wanted to be like on his ranch, like riding a horse, listening to it all. Like he's really cool.
He's very, very good. He's a very, very good man.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, Phil. So yeah, does anyone else, Muppet, did you have anything else you wanted to ask, or Hayden?
No, I'm good. Yep. Thank you, Phil.
Thanks for staying up late, Dave.
Cool.
No, that's fine. All right. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thanks. Bye, Hayden. Thanks for the
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
See you, Hayden. All right.
Thank you. Cheers, buddy.
See you guys.
Bye.